Alright guys, with the announcement of the HTC One M9 and the Samsung Galaxy S6 at Mobile World Congress on Sunday, we finally have a good idea of what the flagship smartphone lineup looks like for this year. So today we wanted to look at those two newly announced Android flagship models and their obvious competitor from across the aisle, the iPhone 6. We're going to look at design, camera performance, and best standout feature, and we want you guys to weigh in below and let us know who you think is winning in each category. Let's start with the design. As far as the design of all these phones is concerned, one thing is certain. 2015 is the year of the metal smartphone. HTC and Apple have been making phones with aluminum elements for a while now, and now the Galaxy S6 has joined that party as well. The iPhone 6 and HTC One M9 both use metal on the back of the phones as well as the trim around the outside. But while the iPhone 6 sticks with a flat back, the M9 has a curve to it and a two-tone design. The Galaxy S6, on the other hand, also features a two-tone design, but metal is limited to the peripheral trim and it has a glass back. One of the greatest things about this year's generation of smartphones is that there isn't necessarily a clear winner visually speaking. We're curious to hear what you think in the comments, but it's easy to see different people favoring the designs of different phones. Nonetheless, if we were pressed to choose, we'd probably still go with the HTC One M9. From start to finish, everything about the look of this phone is really refined. High quality materials, looks good from all angles, this one is definitely still the winner for us. Samsung certainly made the best looking phone they ever have with the Galaxy S6 Edge, and the iPhone is certainly no slouch in the looks department, but overall, HTC is the one that has the edge here. The camera is such a huge factor in a smartphone today that it actually deserves its own category. And when it comes to these three flagship smartphones, the iPhone 6 definitely, clearly had the advantage before the S6 and M9 were announced. But what about now? Has a new winner emerged? HTC had the most ground to make up for this time, and while the phone has a 20 megapixel camera now, we found some comparison shots taken with the M9 and iPhone 6. And, well, Apple still clearly has the lead here. Perhaps HTC will introduce some software improvements in the future that will help it take better pictures, but for now, Apple has it beat. And as for the Galaxy S6, while Samsung made a lot of fuss during their presentation about how their camera was the best in every lighting scenario, we're going to need to see more evidence of that from some other sources besides Samsung. Their new camera performs incredibly quickly. It launches in just 0.7 seconds, but with pictures, the proof is in the pudding. Pictures. The proof is in the pictures. And the first direct comparison shots we've seen, from an Android fan blog no less, shows the winner clearly still being the iPhone 6 in every scenario except for selfies. We'd be willing to revise our judgment when more comprehensive tests come out later, but as far as we're concerned, the winner in this category is still Apple. And finally, which phone had the coolest standout feature this time around? Something to distinguish itself from the rest of the smartphone world. And honestly, it's not Apple. The iPhone 6 doesn't have some crazy killer feature that nobody else does. They mostly just focus on doing all the basic things as best they can. So they're out of contention for this category. But what about the M9 and S6? As far as HTC goes, the coolest feature about the One is still, in our opinion, the speakers. Having fantastic, clear-sounding, dual front-facing stereo speakers on your phone completely changes the kind of things you can do with it. Sharing music or watching videos on the go is leagues better than any of the competition, and it really adds to the overall experience of owning the phone. But it's not really a new feature. It's been there since the first HTC One. Samsung, however, made some really interesting innovations. The dual curved display edges on the Galaxy S6 Edge actually look really cool, and they've created real functional uses for them as well to take them out of the realm of just a gimmick. But honestly, we're gonna give it to Samsung Pay because of one really amazing feature. In addition to being able to use your phone for mobile payments using NFC at supporting pay terminals like Google Wallet and Apple Pay can, Samsung integrated a technology from Kickstarter company LoopPay that is mind-blowingly cool. Basically, the Galaxy S6 can store your credit cards, and using something called MST can generate the exact magnetic field of the credit card you choose to pay with and trick even old-school magnetic stripe card terminals into accepting it as payment. So instead of just being able to use Samsung Pay at the 10% of retailers that actually support NFC, you can use it virtually anywhere they take credit cards, which is awesome and infinitely more useful, and why we think Samsung deserves the Standout Feature Award. That's it for now, folks. Let us know what phone you think is the best of 2015 so far in the comments, and we'll see you next time on Big Shiny Things.